Ozark Patriot here. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is my personal opinion, but I want to make it clear I have no hatred towards John McCain. I just want to vent about the fact that someone can serve 30 years in the Senate and die in office. You know, it's a serious problem when someone can serve as long as the person is old enough to become a senator. You know, it's become an issue with senators dying in office. Senator Byrd was in the office from 59 to, I think, 2009 or something like that. I'm not fact-checking that. I'm just saying he was in it for over 40 years. Senator McCain was in his office for 31 years. The thing is, I do not like politicians serving decades in office because that's not good for America. My grandfather used to say, and he was an old man at the time, he was over 70, he goes, we need to start putting restrictions on who can serve in office, because when you start getting so old, are you mentally and physically competent enough to serve office? They talked about Mr. Nader being old, Mr. Trump being old. Here's the thing, you're elected to office in your 60s. A lot can happen when you're younger than that. But if you're elected in office in your 70s, you could have Alzheimer's, dementia. Do we trust the people that are around these politicians to make the choices that, you know, this person is not capable of serving anymore? Will their families? No, because they're getting very large subsidies in many cases for their businesses, the crap that they support, you know. And I think it is a personal problem for these politicians to keep putting their relatives on their dough, on the taxpayers' dough. It's self-serving, it's self-grandizing. I'm not saying McCain did this, but I'm sure I could probably find somewhere where he benefited financially, because they all do it. It's wrong. And I honestly believe that America, to become greater than it is now, we do need a constitutional amendment. And I'll tell you why. If you serve 30 years in an office, the service to this country, it's supposed to be a public service. Serve the public, make the country a better place, and if this country becomes a better place because you served in office, then seek a higher office, or if you think you've served your purpose, move on. You don't spend a lifetime in politics serving the public without getting worn down. All the founding fathers took breaks from it. They may have been short breaks, but they all took breaks from it, because to serve your country is a duty. To serve 30 years is not a duty, it's an addiction. I believe that we do need to start putting in place systems with the Supreme Court, with the Congress and the Senate, that if you are in the office for more than a decade, maybe we need to start seeing if you're competent enough to stay in another decade. If not, we need to constitutionally amend our own Constitution and say, hey, you serve 2 terms as a senator, you're gone. 12 years. Bye-bye. You can serve 4 terms as a representative. Bye. You've served 8 years. If you're good enough as a representative, your state should elect you as a senator. 20 years in office, you know, is more than long enough. This 30 years staying in one office, or 40 years, that's far too long. This is why we have way too much corruption in the United States. You know, and I'm not tearing McCain down. God rest the man's soul, you know. I don't like the hate coming towards him. He was a man. Just leave him alone. I don't like the fact that someone can have brain cancer, still continue to serve in office. You know that person's judgment, especially towards the last few months, was not the same as when they were elected originally. That is a problem. You have to be competent and capable of rational thought and judgment, because you are making decisions that affect the future of this country. I don't want to see people tear him down just because they disagreed with his politics. But I don't like the fact that someone can serve so long and continue to serve and then, no offense, be compromised and still refuse to step down because they think in their own mind that no one can serve the public better than them. If you're physically and emotionally and mentally compromised, you cannot serve the public at the end. You would be better off finding someone who has the same values as you and promoting them, rather than trying to hold on to power like a dictator. And I'm not saying McCain is a dictator. I'm saying all politicians act like they're too important to be gotten rid of. And this is not how our country should work. You are replaceable. If you are a representative, a senator, a governor, you are replaceable. You are not indispensable. You are replaceable, dispensable. Your only value is, how do you serve your country? How do you serve your public? How do you serve your citizens? This is what I want to see. I want to see fewer lifelong career politicians and more honest, hardworking Americans who can get into politics. I want to see, Jake, the factory worker, decide to run and be able to serve as a congressman because he knows what's going on. You have lawyers and stuff in Washington that can write the laws, but he wants to know what's going on with the common man. Thank you, and like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Ozark Patriot. I'd appreciate it if you like this channel. I'm just testing the waters and seeing if there's any following for these kind of commentary. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down and I'll stop. If I get enough dislikes. But I would like to see what you all think.